Faisal, you often talk about essential states in terms of the divine feminine or masculine, and I think it would be helpful to have to articulate some distinctions as it relates to states, essence, qualities between the masculine and the feminine.
Yes, thanks. It is a very sensitive subject because nowadays there is all the range in between and all of that things. And whatever range there is and whatever preferences there is, we as human beings have a free will to choose whatever we want. You know? Not only to reincarnate as a male or a female, but also to change that male and female. This is our choice. And whatever result of it, it's our, you know, I don't know, grace or suffering. It's you know, we have free will. And free will gives us the, you know, freedom to act. The most simple thing is that obvious that there is male and female by creation, male body, female body. And these two vehicles have certain kind of functionality that sometimes differ. A male cannot carry babies, you know, and female can, she has a womb, and a male can produce sperms and the female cannot. So these two instruments complement each other, you know, complete each other. But because of the sensitivity of the nature of the creation of these vehicles, you know, it also showed that they also embody different streams of essence, different qualities of essence, you know, more emphasis on this quality by the males and more emphasis on these qualities in the female, you know, and it's very fascinating. So if we take away the prejudice of equality, and equality means sameness, and sameness means equality, and all of these issues, and male and female, and if we get out of this, all of that, and look at the absolute and how is it differentiated, we see that this great being get differentiated either by itself, some people say, or by a mechanism installed in it, or by us, you know. So there are many theories. We'll come to the theory of God another time, you know. But that this pure being differentiate into certain qualities that when these qualities manifest in male or female body, they seem to give a feeling of what we call feminine or masculine, you know. And some of those, you know, let's say classically, you know, speaking, is that feminine means softness, sweetness, delicateness, all of those things, you know. It doesn't mean the female cannot be strong and all of those things. It means the body naturally is built with this propensity to embody these qualities, you know. And the male is more solidity and hardness and drivenness. So that is another qualities of essence. By looking into those qualities, it was interesting to maybe classify them as feminine, masculine, such as, you know, their qualities. Let me try to remember, you know, that from the absolute itself, from the pure being, as we mentioned before, get differentiated into deep and into radiance. Deep is a sense of softness, deep relaxation, letting go, dissolution, melting, gate. Radiance is awakening, vitality, relaxation, but also with an immensity of a force, you know. I don't know, it's like, to me, it's like a penis and a vagina, a womb and balls. Two different frequencies. So this coming from the absolute as radiance and deep. A male can receive both and a female can receive both. You know, it's open to all of us. But in general, discover that, for example, the womb is an organ that somehow can tune in to the frequency, like a radar, can tune into the frequency of the deep and embody it. And it's like it contains the dark matter of the universe. And by containing the dark matter of the universe, it can create from a seed, from an egg and a sperm, majestic human being, a magnificent human being, that all of those things. So the womb has capacity of cultivating this basic matter of the universe, this basic frequency of the universe, and transforming it into a human being. The male is like, the radiance is like sunshine, and every sperm is like a frequency, is like a sun coming out, you know, and every male makes about 2 million sperms a day, I think, you know. Can you imagine? The female, 450 eggs, you know, lifetime. And a male is 2 million sperms a day, you know. Like they are sitting on giant factory. That's why they are so restless. They don't sit, you know, they're always, you know, like ramming it, you know. They are ruled by this mechanism inside. So the radiance is much closer to the sperm, and each sperm is programmed with a force to go through the whole tube to the egg, you know, and impregnate it. So the radius is closer to the male. The functionality, for example, in the old time, the male can go hunting and the female take care of the children. So that's more a womb and a softness and richness that's needed for the female to cultivate that kind of field, while the male needed to do all of those things. So in order to like, if the soul was one and divided into two, Adam and Eve, they are equal but not the same. Equality is not the same, you know. These two equal beings, when they join together, they complete each other. It doesn't have to be external, it's internal. The male aspect and the feminine aspect, masculine aspect are integrated. One is more unified, one is more harmonious, a human being. In order for these vehicles to contain those frequencies, the universe came not only with the deep, but from the deep, a certain differentiated vehicle, a certain differentiated aspect emerged. And we call it the chandelier. It's in the form of a chandelier, a jeweled vehicle, you know, and the diamonds are juicy, they're nectary, you know, and they're different colors. And the feeling of it is a feeling of, when it lands in the body, you feel you want to celebrate, you want to dance, you want to create, you want to manifest, you know, put on beautiful dresses and makeup. And I mean, you know that humanity, since God knows when, you know, female beautifying and guys chasing, you know. So there is a chandelier, and this chandelier exudes nectars in the system. Soft pink, melted gold, delicate gold, so many soft, like milk essence, pink essence, really very fluffy, very nice qualities that feel feminine. You know, I remember working with some clients, when they reached the meltdown into those qualities, they freaked out. They thought they're gonna lose their manhood, you know, especially like when gold and pink landed in the genitals, you know. They said they felt scared that they're gonna lose their penis and they're gonna have a vagina, you know. God forbid, and you know, tell her, you know. So it's instinctually that this vehicle lands in the female body, produces nectars and liquids and oils and perfumes, and in fact, it's one of the beautiful states that happens within the female body and the male body, is that even the tense muscles, guys, you know, muscle tout and all of those things, the female body most of the time, the muscles are not that way. They're softer, and they are like, you know, I call it the flower dimension, as if every muscle, you know, that was like tout was coiled into itself, opens up like a flower, and perfume runs in the body, you know, and then the organs get purified and cleansed. And so that these are some of the essential states that land, you know, chandelier, flower dimension, soft substances. There is also one quality that's really beautiful too, that seems to be so important for the female. It's important for the male, but also for the female. It is symbolized by the Kaaba in Mecca. The Kaaba is a cubit, black cubit, you know, and it's supposed to be the house of God. And this quality lands in the female womb and create a sense of safety, a sense of privacy, a sense of protection. Her sexuality, her genitality is sacred. It can only open when it is worshipped. No female can be raped, can be violated, but cannot be raped. Physically, you might violate her, rape her, all of those things, but you cannot reach the preciousness of what she is. Her jewelness, her chandelier, her soul is protected by the Kaaba. And when the Kaaba lands in the female, when the female works in her issues of entitlement, in her position in existence, of respect, of honoring, the Kaaba lands there. And then she feels safe. And she feels only she has the right to invite the male to enter her or not. And it can be only, the male can be only invited if he honors her as a goddess. No way less than that. And it's not coming from the ego, it's coming from her very soul, you know. So this is like beautiful stream of the feminine. It can also land for the male. The Kaaba lands on the prostate gland, you know, to create a sense of privacy, and this is where creation of the sperm can take place. The male, here is the radiance, and from the radiance descended a very majestic, powerful, solid vehicle called the stupa. You know, it's a vehicle like the steeple in a church, you know, the stupa, or like the minaret. It's a vehicle of solidity made of dense diamonds, not like delicate diamonds, and it generates from the absolute immensities of energy and vitality. So it's the vehicle of generation. The chandelier is the vehicle of manifestation and celebration. This one is the vehicle of generation, generating energy for whatever is needed. And from that comes dense substances. Beside soft substances come solid gold, solid platinum, dense, I don't know, dense oils, all of those things, qualities come from that, you know. And the stupa ultimately land in the male genitals. As the chandelier lands in the female genitals protected by the Kaaba, the stupa lands in the male genitals protected also by the Kaaba and by the universe. So the genitals become sacred again, you know. And the holy communion, you know, comes really holy. It's between two sacred beings in love, sacred of their own preciousness. Whatever we want to do with that, we do. We have the choice to experiment and do everything. But these are also some of the interesting streams coming from the absolute. Qualities of softness or density, solidities or hardness or immensity or delicateness, feminine and masculine. Yeah. And I think by honoring that, we kind of cherish each other, and we can really then mate the right way, you know, that out of love, out of honoring, out of respect. The female, the way she is because she is holding this field, and the male, the way he is holding that field, you know. And the two fields might require different functioning, you know. Like I noticed after years of working with, you know, couples and all of that, seeing that the biggest challenge, fights that happen between male and female is that is about why cats and dogs fight. When the cat shakes its tail, it means it's gonna fight. And when the dog shakes its tail, it means it wanna play. So the dog sees the cat shaking its tail, it rushes to play. And the cat sees the dog shaking its tail, it's rushing to it, it thinks it's gonna fight. So the female is oriented toward home, creativity, the preservation of the race, and her task is awesome. All the layers of the cosmos are connected to the womb of the female, from the alpha to the omega. So what the female embodies is awesome, and the degradation that happens to the female is really need to be lifted off, especially at our time and what we see happening now, you know. So the female You know, even like in religion, they say God created Eve from the rib of Adam. The word is the translation of where they took the rib from is dhul in Arabic. Dhul. Dhul means equal. It does not mean rib. It can mean rib and it can mean equal. So Adam and Eve were created with equality, but differences in order for functionality in this realm. If that is understood, then there is love, there is honoring, rather than thinking, oh, she is opposing me or I am opposing her. No, I am concerned about this and she is concerned about that. And when there is that understanding, then there is harmony, there is love. But those vehicles are so, an essential state is so beautiful, really. You know, and male can experience them as feminine, the feminine stream, and the female can experience the male as masculine, but it's for both. And you can have the range in between. More of this and more of that. Some men are more feminine, some feminine more male. We have the choice and you have the play. And the responsibility.
Continuum.
And the continuum. Yes.